Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy is with us. Hello to you, Mr. Lammy. Thank you for joining us on the programme. What's your view? We have heard the number of people that are in hospital at the moment. Nevertheless, do you think that the government are being suitably cautious?
Look, I think this is a national emergency. It's all shoulders to the wheel to ensure that the country is boosted. And it's right, of course, that people wear their masks in public, that people stay at home if they can. And we as the opposition want to support the national effort in this time to reduce the risks to the population. This mutation is serious and we have to be cautious, and the government are right, I think, in their approach at this stage.
Is it right that the Prime Minister addresses the nation on a Sunday evening when people are rightfully quite anxious when something like that happens? Is that what we're looking for?
Well, I don't want to play politics with the how this is done. I know that there were certainly some journalists who would have liked to have been able to put questions to the Prime Minister, but I think the message that the country should go out and ensure that they are boosted, that they should make an appointment now to get boosted before the end of the month, is the correct message. And it's certainly my responsibility and the Labour Party's responsibility to back that call and to do all we can to ensure that we get the message out in our channels and with the media that's available to us.
OK. Should Boris Johnson resign?
Well, look, the truth is that Boris Johnson has lost a lot of credibility in the last few weeks. There are many questions facing his performance, this quiz that we heard about at the weekend, and of course the parties. But Boris Johnson has an 80-seat majority. So, Kay, that really in the end is a question to Conservative backbenchers. I don't want to be in the business of gesture politics because it's not something that the British Labour Party can deliver. That's the truth of it. We can't. There are huge problems with Boris Johnson. He's the worst Prime Minister to have at this time. But equally, there's no point in me sort of gesturing when, in the end, the nature of our democracy, that the parliamentary majority that it has, means that we can't deliver that.
But your leader said yesterday it looks like Boris Johnson was breaking the law. So what next then?
He certainly needs to come to Parliament today to explain what happened. I mean, he's not Anne Robinson. He was conducting a quiz. At the time, you should not have been socially mixing in London. He's flanked by others. There's no social distancing. You weren't beyond. And the photograph and what we're hearing about this quiz and drinks and things that were had, of course, suggests that this was in flagrant breach of the rules. But he's now got to come to Parliament and explain himself.
But looking at this picture, I mean, you know, it's difficult to tell. They could well be a metre apart. There are only three of them in the picture. I mean, that's hardly a hanging offence, is it?
Could, should. The point is that Boris Johnson is the public lead chief for our country. He's the person who has to set the example. He's the person in the end who makes the ultimate call on the rules that we all have to abide by. And within these very serious times, where it may be that we come back to the public and ask for further restrictions, look, it's hugely important that they believe that the Prime Minister and those that work with him are taking this seriously. And for all of those reasons, he has to explain himself in the House and to the country.
Let's talk about the by-election on Thursday as a result of Owen Paterson stepping down. Labour, I think I'm right in saying that you were second last time, albeit a long way behind. Why are you not being touted by the bookies as being able to win the seat this time? They're going with the Lib Dems. They say the Lib Dems will win.
I don't think this is a seat that Labour have ever held. It's a significant majority. This is a traditionally Conservative seat. We are doing all that we can, knocking on doors, getting our message across. We'll see what the result is on Thursday. But I don't think that on the arithmetic, people are suggesting that this is a seat that we should easily hold.
No, but if, you know, looking at how well you're doing in the polls at the moment, and it looks, but nevertheless, it looks as though the bookies are saying the Lib Dems will win, that's going to give you guys a bloody nose as well, isn't it?
let's wait and see what happens on Thursday. In the end, there's electioneering going on. People have not yet gone to the polls. Clearly, they will have seen the chaos that the government's in over the last few weeks, and they will have heard the message coming from the British Labour Party. So let's wait and see.
Yeah, but if the Lib Dems win, it's not good for either of the main parties, is it?
Oh, I'm not gonna call the results of the election, but I'd be surprised if the Lib Dems took the seat. But let's see.
Well, as I said to the Health Secretary earlier on, you never see a poor bookie, do you? Let's talk about what's happening as far as Russia is concerned. Foreign ministers of G7 meeting in Liverpool yesterday warning Russia of massive consequences if it invades Ukraine. Given your brief, how do we start to de-escalate what's going on there?
Well, look, I think that the meeting between Biden and Putin was very serious, and I was in Washington last week discussing this with colleagues in the US. This is a very worrying situation, and Putin needs to step back. NATO is absolutely unified. There will be severe consequences if there is any breach. Ukraine is an autonomous, independent, democratic country. It is for them to determine their future. Putin must now step back and know that NATO is absolutely unified. The European Union is unified in the approach that we will take.
Before I let you go, did you see the race yesterday? Was Lewis robbed?
I felt sorry for Lewis Hamilton, I've got to tell you. I don't know if he was robbed. It certainly looked a bit chaotic and confused towards the end, but he'll live to fight another day, I'm sure.
I agree. It's good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Lammy. Thank you.
Thank you.